I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration.
I would beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties.
Are you ready?
That goes in the files.
Are you ready? Let's get it all!
Yo, welcome back to the fifth round. As always, your boy Stephen Moustaris. And guys, finally, I get to talk about UFC 287 this weekend. You know, yesterday I wanted to start it off, but I had to talk about Endeavor buying WWE and that whole thing. And just the whole thing, they're talking about putting them into together as their own entities. And I'm worried about that. I don't know what this is going to mean for MMA, or especially the UFC. Like, are we going to start seeing fighters selling out and going to WWE? Like, I'm just worried about the whole thing. And if you guys want to check that out, please go check it out. Let me know what you guys think. But, you know, definitely finally now UFC 287. You know, there's so many storylines, so many stacked cards. I mean, Jesus, I think on the prelims, we even got Chris Curtis versus Kelvin Gastelum. Like, that's like, I mean, compared to some of the fight nights that we see from the UFC nowadays, that's almost a fucking main event in itself. I know Kelvin's kind of been, you know, on a little, I don't even know what you can, his roller coaster of a career ever since his Izzy fight and everything. It's been awkward. Injuries, losing quick fights, you know, winning one that he shouldn't. I don't know. Just having some weird times, but I'm happy to see him get back in there with Chris Curtis is always hungry. Santiago Ponzinibbio fighting Kevin Holland. Raul Rosas Jr., 18-year-old kid making a second fight in UFC. You know, there's Adrian Yanez versus Rob Font. You know, there's so many great fights this weekend. And, you know, the number one thing I want to look real quick, and you know, Alex Pereira is on the cusp of something legendary, guys, like legendary. And yeah, you know, for us people that, you know, are diehard fans, or would consider ourselves diehard fans and truly know the sport. And, you know, we're sitting there all the time watching guys going 8, 9, 10 fight win streaks and not even getting a title shot. Like Tony Ferguson comes to mind, Bilal Muhammad comes to mind, Leon Edwards comes to mind. Like, we see this shit all the time over the years. These guys just, you know, beating top 10 competition left and right and just still getting overlooked. Maybe they don't have the mic skills. Maybe, you know, maybe it's just not lining up. Maybe there's a trilogy, or maybe there's a rematch going on and it just doesn't match up perfectly. But, you know, then you got Alex Pereira come in, kind of reminds you, like, we honestly haven't seen this since like a Brock Lesnar, you know, or like a Wanderlei Silva stuff that, you know, guys coming from Pride, or, you know, or the UFC wasn't really, you know, as popular as it was now, and it wasn't as deep as it was now. So, you know, you had Brock Lesnar go in there, get a title fight after, you know, 2 fights, 1 loss, 1 win, he gets a title fight. But with Alex Pereira, man, it's just so crazy to think, because all of this is due to Israel Adesanya. And this is what it just gets so crazy to think about. Like, there is an argument out there, and all of us could argue, and it's even been said by Alex Pereira. If you guys want to go back and look in an interview, I'm sure I'll even probably throw it up here, but it's like, he's been very vocal about saying he probably would have never attempted MMA if it wasn't for, you know, seeing Israel Adesanya go on and be so successful, like, especially knowing later on that, you know, he has beat him twice in kickboxing. So it's like, well, why can't I go do that? So, you know, he goes, dips the toes, gets 1 win in MMA, I think, or like 2, I think, and then gets instantly just shot straight into the UFC. Has that nasty flying knee knockout to start his UFC career in November of 2021. And, you know, it's like, I'm going to fuck the guy's name up, like Andreas, you know, Michael Lotties or something. Like, that flying knee was fucking vicious. I don't care what talent it was that he was fighting. And then he has that, you know, razor close decision with Bruno Silva, which was a really close fight. Like, I thought he for sure lost, you know, round 2. And then you can make an argument there. Round 1 it was just all around was a pretty decent fight, close one. And then I don't know what the fuck Sean Strickland, to this day, I have no idea what Sean Strickland was doing in that fight, but leaves his chin up in the air, gets left hook from hell, goes out. And then, you know, within, I think it's like 10 days after, so it's like 376 days of his UFC career, he gets his title fight against Izzy in November of last year, just a couple months ago. And, you know, clearly I'm not breaking news here, but, you know, to see him win, it's tough to sit there and complain about him getting such an early title shot. I know a lot of people were mad at the time, but it's like, Izzy goes out and beats everybody in the world. So, like, we have a chance right here to see Alex Pereira come in and steal everything that Izzy has ever worked for. And, guys, I'm not trying to be funny here either. If Alex Pereira beats Izzy this weekend in any facet, a fucking doctor stoppage, or, like, literally the ball is in his court. Like, I mean, you could even say Izzy's court. Like, Izzy's got to do something this weekend to make something happen. Like, even if he gets a decision win, like, yeah, cool, you're getting the belt back, but, like, unless it's like beating the brakes off of this man from pillar to post from round 1 to round 5, like, it's gonna be really tough to, you know, have people in their eyes be like, okay, well, you might have outpointed Pereira, but you lost 3 straight times, you know, to him, and twice in kickboxing and once in your home court. And it's like, So that one's tough. So look for Izzy to kind of look out there and kind of, look for a crazy finish, which is going to open him up for Pereira to kind of do his thing. So if Pereira for real wins this weekend in any facet, doctor stoppage, fucking eye poke, anything that cancels the fight, it's like, okay, we've seen Alex win 3 times already in the 3 fights. Like this fight almost shouldn't even happen. And it's like, what do you do next if you're Alex Pereira? Alex Pereira, for real, could easily, I'm telling you guys right now, if he beats Izzy this weekend, he's going straight up to 205 because there's nothing else that he needs to be cutting weight for to come down here other than to fight Izzy. He's going to go up to 205 without fighting a single wrestler in his career in the MMA. He's going to go through everybody. He gets to beat Izzy twice just because it's a great stylistic matchup for him. We all know the size advantage, the height advantage, the just everything. He's a big guy. He's ginormous. And he has a chance to go fight for a double title, could become a double champ. And you're telling me he can't knock out Jamal Hill or Jiri Prochazka? Like, don't get me wrong, those guys are good and they're talented, but those guys aren't going to be looking to take down Alex Pereira. They're going to make it a standing fight. And there's a chance here in the next couple months, maybe by July, maybe by August, depending on the injuries that happen this weekend, could even be by the end of the year. There's a chance Alex fucking Pereira is a double champion in the UFC. And the dude's 35 years old, so it's like, doesn't have that much more to go, and he's already been very vocal about how he only is doing this because Izzy did it, and he's just taking his goal. So it's like, if you're Israel Adesanya, you just sat there, you lost twice to this guy that you haven't beat. Now it's 4 times if this happens this weekend. Loses 4 times to the same guy. Like, what do you do if you're Izzy? You've already beat everybody that is in the division, so what are you going to do? You're going to move up to 205 too and go fight, the same guy that Alex Pereira just did to you at 185? Like, I'm really sitting here like, man, Alex Pereira really might just come in and just steal everything that Izzy's ever worked for. Izzy had his chance against Jan Blachowicz, doesn't get it, falls short that night. Goes on, and this is the other crazy part too, is like, I don't want to say funny, it's just, ironic that, the two of the 3 African champs that we had, and Kamaru Usman and also Israel Adesanya, these guys were probably realistically only 2 wins away from retiring. Like, I'm telling you now, if Usman would have beat Edwards the first time back in July or whatever it was, and then he goes on and beats Covington for another time, Bilal Muhammad or something, like, I wouldn't have been shocked at all of him retiring, or even if he beat Leon, him retiring. And then Izzy the same way. Like, what more does Izzy have to prove to the world? Like, maybe he wants a second belt or something, which he's tried, but like, now that's kind of out the window. And even if you beat Pereira, like, is there going to be a trilogy or something? So like, I'm really confused here, man. Like, I shouldn't say confused. I'm just like really, really intrigued with what's going on. Like, Alex Pereira for real might be like a modern day Brock Lesnar type situation. Like, and you can't say he's kind of like, I mean, he kind of gets Dana White privilege, I guess, by getting that title fight, but it's literally how great he did against Izzy in their kickboxing matches and their Muay Thai matches. And just what Izzy goes on and do, like, Alex Pereira's got to kind of thank Izzy for what he's done, because he's made his career so much easier to get to where he needs to be. And man, we're just sitting here now. It's like Alex Pereira within 3 fights gets a title fight. His 4th and 5th fights are title fights, and he's already won the 4th one. He already won that first one. So if he wins the second, he's got 2 title wins with 1 title defense in 5 fights. And his 6th UFC fight could be for the 205 belt to be champ. Like, guys, he's on verge of it, man. I'm telling you guys, don't be shocked if this shit happens. Like, we've seen it happen 3 times now. Like, Izzy's good. Izzy's the man. Izzy's quick. But guess what? When you got Alex Pereira's power and all it takes is one little hook and it's over, man, I'm telling you guys, this is getting scary, especially what Izzy's probably thinking in his head. Like, I've lost 3 times now. It's been twice I've been finished. Like, I really need to make something happen here. So, I'm just saying, don't be shocked. Alex Pereira, double champ by the end of 2023. Like, there's literally no way at the beginning of 2 years ago. 2 years ago, guys. 2 years, even a year and a half ago, we could even say. There is no way anybody could have ever predicted that. Especially with Izzy running it, Usman running it, Francis running it. We thought the 3 African kings were there. John Jones doing his thing up there finally, whatever. I don't know, but that's the other thing we're kind of worried about. Alex Pereira could go easily. Say he wins 205. What's he doing next? He's 35 by that time, 36. He's going to be 37 probably by the next fight, because he's probably only a 1 time a year. Like, you're telling me this man doesn't go for a 3rd fight? Like, with a title fight at heavyweight? Like, he's ginormous, guys. We've seen him up against these people. Like, at least just taking pictures with 205ers and shit. Like, legitimate 205ers. And this guy is towering Glover Teixeira and guys like that. So, I'm just saying, be ready. UFC 287, we might be seeing some crazy shit. And, it's just funny. As much as we love MMA and all the different, aspects of it and all the different arts in it, this man really might become a double champ without fighting a single grappler in his UFC career, and that is mind-blowing. But hey, who knows? Izzy could knock his lights out, and then we're sitting here laughing like, he was a one-hit wonder type thing. So, as always, your boy Stephen Moustaris. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.